What's going on, beautiful people? In the last couple of videos, we've built this amazing tank behind me. We've built the stand and prepared the tank, fixed the light, done the substrate system and sorted the hardscape. And now today we're going to plant the whole thing. And the good news is my plants have arrived. So that is quite a heavy box for just some plants, but I've got some other little things in there as well for other projects. Oh, and on the top here is new merch. So Stefan has not been cameraman for a few weeks or so because he's been working on a brand new website for us. And these are the first samples, I guess.
Yeah.
I wanted to check the quality.
It's new merch, but old designs.
Yeah, we've got new designs coming, but we wanted to check the quality.
We're checking the quality, which is great. We've got, this is the first time I've seen them actually. Got little MD logos in the inside as well, just for that little extra bit of je ne sais quoi. And then we've got, oh yeah, these are the backprint hoodies.
Yeah, something we decided to do a little bit different.
MD logo on the front. Let me just flip it around. Like that. And then on the back,
got the design.
And there's new designs in the pipeline as well, which is exciting.
Yeah, so it's a whole new website, right, that you've worked on. It's going live in a second, yeah?
You can try and do it today, yeah.
Yeah, so it should be clickable for this video.
So you can buy merch from there. New suppliers, yeah, better quality. And we'll eventually be putting in some products as well, hopefully, further down the line. So the idea is that we can kind of expand the MD brand.
Yes, so it's below now. Click it in the link, description, all that. Yeah, right, let's get this open because I can't remember what I ordered. Oh, that's a heavy one. That's where the weight was. So I got all my plants and substrates and things like that from deneleplants.co.uk. It's linked in the description below if you're interested. But I ordered these like 2 days ago. So Wednesday night I ordered them. They actually came last night. So technically that was one day. I think I got in the order at the right time. But yeah, 1 to 2 days delivery. Can't go wrong with that, can you? Because I'm really impatient and also unorganized. So it's a good job that option's available. So in this box, I've got some new soil to try out. They had on stock on the website. And I've got some more power sands as well. This is like a new company distributed in the UK. Don't know if anyone's used it before, but I haven't, and I like to give stuff a go, so yeah. And now we've got our plants. So we have got Trident Fern Windeloff in this one. We've got some awesome Crips. I'll get all these out as well. More Crips. Java Fern Narrow. Oh no, I just dropped everything. And then I've got a selection of all of these in vitro plants. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be using all of these. We're trying to keep it on a budget. So I'm going to, break up what I want to use, plant it, and then we'll tot up what I've used at the end. The idea, though, is to keep it quite minimal and then let the whole thing grow in, trim plants and replant them, that kind of thing where possible. And then any of the carpeting plants, like Glossostigma, should creep itself from just a couple of pots. Will take a while, especially about CO2, but, if you're on a budget, then you've got to be patient, which I'm not very good at. So I always think it's a good idea to start with your ferns. Should I go with 1 fern or 2? I'm going to put 1 in to start with, the Windeloff. Look at that. Arrived. Great quality. That looks so good. So I'm just going to go with 1 to start with. It might not be enough though. Just got to take the rock wool off. This is all very simple, look. Just peels out. And it doesn't matter if there's a little bit still attached, but just get off what you can. There we go. Now the great thing about this spiderwood is it's got all these little branches in it, which means you can just push the Java Fern in there. You don't have to glue anything, and it just stays. Now me being me, is that enough? Now obviously that will grow. It's going to send off from the rhizome extra roots left and right, but it is very slow growing, so maybe 1 more, I think it's worth it. I definitely would do that. Back in the days when I was buying my plants, I would have got 2 for sure. The ferns definitely give you that like bulk of green straight away. I'm just gonna move 1 of them. This one's quite big actually, so I'm gonna break it up into 2. And we can get 1 in there. And then maybe 1 in this back little part as well. little gap there. I think that definitely has a much better effect. So with the Java ferns, you get a lot of bang for your buck. What I mean is there's a lot of green there for a lower cost, rather than getting a plant that's a lot smaller for the same price. And already it looks good actually, I like that. So next up is going to be the foreground plants, and I'm going to go with a glossostigma. I'm going to go for two, oh it's a tough one. I'm going to go with one glossostigma and one of the Eleocharis, this like grass-like one. And then maybe one will do better than the other. And if that's the case at a later date, you can just buy another pot if you want to and put it in. But I think it will just grow really well with just a one of each. So these particular plants, like the glossostigma, oh yes, look at that. That's gonna work so well. They come with a little liquid in them. So you pour the liquid out because it's really nutrient dense. Then you can just pull out the plant. Now there is still a lot of that nutrient stuff all around the roots. So I just like to put it in some water as well. And just sort of swirl it around and give it a little clean up, just to be sure, you know. Because I have had times when it's sort of melted because that stuff's been all entwined in it and it's a little too strong when it's underwater. I don't know why, just find this works really well. Clean it off. Then what we can do is take the plant, and you can sort of open it up, and then you get these little tufts that you can just snap off. Try not to squeeze it too much. And you just get these little tufts like this, and we can plant all of these individually. Usually I'd keep them as bigger tufts and just get more of them, but we're doing a budget one, so I've got to be a little bit more conservative to cover the whole area as much as we want to. So now we can just take all our tufts and plant them in. And as you can see, look, one pot, this is why the pots are so good for foreground plants. One pot goes a really long way. I'm just pushing it in gently. I mean, obviously we haven't got a real thick layer there, but it's enough to grip all of the plants, and they're going to be straight into the nutrients as well. What I like to do, look, is push it in at an angle, then the other sides open up. Then you just push the sand, and that should grip it. Sand's very good at gripping plants, so you don't need a huge thick layer of it as well. And lots of people have said to me, how do you get it to like go into the substrate and get it to stay there? Because every time I pull my tweezers up, it comes up. So I push in with it pinched, an angle, then I release, pinch, push down, release, pinch, push down. I'm just doing it quite quickly. It doesn't look like I'm doing that, but that is actually how I'm doing it. Ready, in at an angle, pinch, let go, pinch, let go, pinch, let go. So yeah, you can see there, look, we get pretty good coverage in this size tank with just one pot. I might just stick with that. I mean, it's covering a good area. As each one of those grows, it's going to connect up and make a full carpet. And we used an extra pot on the Java fern, so I think I'll just keep that as the foreground, which looks a bit rubbish right now, but it's going to grow in. And we can't forget as well to keep misting the plants down. Java ferns are pretty hardy. They can tolerate a little bit of low moisture for a while. The glossostigma definitely can't. Keep that handy. Next up, we've got Blixa japonica. Now that doesn't look like much now, but this is actually one of my favourite plants. Now you can just about see it, look, in a tank behind, excuse the reflections, but that is Blixa japonica. Started off the same size I just showed you, and it grows really, really nicely. Doesn't overtake the tank, it just gets a little bit larger. It's awesome. Oh, that fish is fine. He's trying to get some hair algae off of all the glass there. Siamese algae eater. So yeah, same thing again, it's in the liquid. We pour that away, and then give the plant itself a wash. And then this plant's a little bit different from the glossostigma because each one has got its own sort of crown that it grows out of. You can see there, that one's actually two. So you've got nice little neat pieces of it with some root systems to go in. And that's how it grows in the aquarium as well. It just keeps sending out these like new crowns. And yeah, remember this one's going to get quite big. So I think here, just off center, is a really good spot for it. It just looks like nothing really at the moment, doesn't it? But trust me, that's going to be amazing. Another one over this side as well. And then I'm going to use one pot of Crypt Albedo Brown. It goes a really nice color underwater. It stays quite small as well, so it's more of a mid foreground sort of plant. Now it comes out the potlet with quite a lot of different plantlets. You can break this up, but I'm not going to. I've got another one that came out of it as well. I'm just going to put that one on its own and this one on its own. And these plants do not mind shaded areas, so I'm going to put this one right here. And then the other little baby one over in this area. And then I've got a nice big Crypt Wenty green. Now a lot of these leaves are gonna sort of die off and then new shoots come out of like the crown section down the bottom there. It'll add some nice green to begin with. As it starts to melt, you wanna take off any plants that aren't looking in good health because they will, you know, increase the nutrients in the water column, which can incur more algae then. But yeah, we'll get it in there, break it right up, get some green everywhere. Now some people, when they put in these crypts, they literally just cut off all of the top leaves straight away, knowing that that's not how they go underwater, you know, and we want fresh underwater growth to be nice and healthy. I'm not gonna do that because I want you guys to see, you know, how it goes in case you've not experienced it before. It's called crypt melt and it's very, very, very common. I mean, most of the time it happens. And even when it doesn't happen, like all of the leaves here melting off, they still don't look like the underwater growth. So once the underwater growth comes in, I tend to just cut them off anyway. There we go. That looks kind of ugly at the moment, but trust the process. In a month's time, it's not gonna. And you can very clearly see now that I've got a foreground area, I've got the midground area, and now we've got an open background for stems, fast growing stems. And stems are very important in a no filter ecosystem aquarium, just because the speed of growth of them means that they're just using nutrients in the water column. This just helps with like algae growth, prevents it, and just the overall general health of the whole aquarium and makes your life so much easier. But what I'm gonna do now is go around my studio and pick out some stems that I wanna add to the tank. I've already got them, so I didn't buy more, but I'm gonna only use like 6 stems of each and keep them really short just to simulate what you'd get in a pot. Yes, they've already converted to underwater growth, but usually when you put stems in an aquarium, they convert very quickly, like straight away, you start getting new growth of underwaterness. So yeah, I'm gonna do it like that. And I'm definitely gonna be taking some of these awesome Rotala HR reds here, just to show you how well the floodlights make reds go. I used to have floodlights all over these tanks, exactly the same tank size as this actually, and my reds were insane. So I'm gonna get some of those. I'm gonna get some of that Ludwigia as well, you can see in the middle there, sort of rounder leaf stuff. So 6 of those, 6 of those. And I'm also gonna get a little bunch of the pearlweed you can see here as well, because it grows really fast and you can have so much in your tank in such a short amount of time. And why wouldn't you? Who doesn't want a nice, vibrant, lush, healthy looking green tank? And we'd be absolutely crazy not to get a few stems of Limnophila as well. Look at that Amano shrimp going to town on it. Good girl. That's definitely a girl. Look, see all the eggs? All that dark patch in the middle, that's just like millions, maybe not millions, but a lot of eggs. She's like fanning them, look. They'll hatch out soon. They won't survive in this water because they need like brackish water. But it'd be a realistic snack for the fish in there as well. The cardinals enjoy that. There we go, there's our potted stems. Now you're probably thinking, well, these are already underwater growth stems, so it's at an advantage. Well, not really, because when you get the ones in the pots, at the bottom will be a whole root system of each stem, whereas I haven't got that at all. So these have to grow a root system, and I reckon that'll like sort of bring it around about equal time as to what it takes for a pot to, you know, that's grown out of water to fully become submerged and continue to grow. I've literally had pots that I've put in that have been grown out of water start growing out new shoots within the first couple of days before. So yeah, it's basically just as good. And these are gonna be really short down as well, so we're not really gonna see them to start with. So there we go, look, that's the sort of length we've got. I'm gonna space them out quite evenly. So this one will go right at the back on this side. So I want like green, green, green. I want lots of green, red Rotala, red Ludwigia in this middle section so it pops, and then back to green again. So the Limnophila is over this side. And again, these are gonna grow really fast and we can trim them, replant the trimmings, and then the point that we trimmed them from becomes 2 more stems. So it just keeps getting more and more and more. Stem plants are great like that. Just, you know, you've got never-ending plants if you want. Rotala HR down the back area. I'm spacing them out like a decent amount because I need space for the new trimmings to go into. And then I'm putting this beautiful Ludwigia Palustria Super Red in the middle section, look. Oh, they look so good. And trust me, these will continue to grow red. Like, you don't need CO2 for red plants. All you need is high lighting. And this is plenty of lighting. The plant itself doesn't care what RGBs and things like that you've got. Now, with red RGBs, you do get it even more red, but it will still be nice and red. And also, the taller the plant grows, like closer to the light, the redder it gets as well. And then our final plant is the pearlweed right over in this corner. This stuff grows fast, very fast. It does try and travel horizontally as well, which just means, yeah, more nice, beautiful greenness for a lot cheaper if you're willing to wait, which I'm usually not, but for you guys, I am. There we go, planting complete. It's now time to fill this up really, really slowly. I've got dechlorinated tap water ready to go. I'm just gonna fill, it'll look fast on the time lapse, but it's not. We do not want to disturb the substrate system, so I'm gonna do it extra steady. Oh, I don't know if you could see on the time lapse there, but the wood started to float up, and I just put a little rock on there just to push it back down again. It will sink again a little bit more because it's slightly floating at the front. It's reached an equilibrium. Yeah, that will, over the next few days it will just drop on its own, and then I'll remove the rock. It's actually pulled up that crypt there, hasn't it? So I'll replant that. But other than that, it's just a case now of sitting back and just seeing what happens. I'll check back in a couple of days and fill you in with all the details. Right, it's actually been 4 days, and this is how we are looking. I think the first thing to note is a distinctive colour change to the water. That'll just be some tannins from the wood leaching out, and obviously we haven't got a filter, so there's no way of that being exported. Well, there is a way, obviously a manual way, but I meant by like anything in a filter, like a carbon or something like that. We've got some really good signs already. Look at that glossostigma. I can see that it's creeping, it's sending out roots. That's an awesome sign, because sometimes that plant can be a little bit temperamental, it can melt off straight away. We've got a lot of bubbles on the top of the water. Why is there bubbles, you may be asking? It's not like we've got a better fish in here or something. That is oxygen being produced by the plants, which is a very good sign that the substrate system is doing what we want it to. We can see at the back there, look, the limnophilia is opening right out, sending out a brand new little shoot as well. Another great sign. In fact, I can see at the back there, all of the stems are starting to stand upright and are growing towards the light. Crypts, look, now we have got some sort of deady leaves, you know, they're turning yellow. I wouldn't say melting just yet, but they definitely will do. If I show you the before picture right now of the crypts, and if you look at them now, they're all stood upright and still very nice and vibrant green, which is surprising because sometimes it all just dies off, but I've got a feeling they're going to convert very quickly, which would be good. Now, the whole point of this tank is that it's like quite minimal maintenance. I want it to be something that's just set up, running, and you can enjoy and not do a ton of work on. That being said, at this phase, when we're so early on, there is some work that needs to be done. And for instance, a water change at this stage is probably a good idea. It's not a necessity, but I just think it will clean up the water a little bit, but also sort of reset everything a little. Might be some nutrients in the water column from some of the plants being pulled out and that kind of thing. We can then minimize the risk of algae coming everywhere just by doing a water change now. Now, as the tank progresses, this won't be necessary so often later on, but what are we, like 4 or 5 days in, so first water change, it's not too bad, I'd say. There we go, that's reset back really nicely, I think. It's all looking a bit fresher. And over the coming week, I'm expecting to see a lot more growth coming in, especially down that glossostigma. I'm just loving the way it's starting to really take off there. And it's kind of exponential the way it grows. Like you get a little bit, then you get even more, and then it just sort of spreads everywhere. And that was exactly the same with this tank here. I mean, yeah, granted, this one has had CO2 pumping into it, but it's still the same plant at the end of the day. It's just gonna grow at a slower rate. This is like proper tripling up now. Might need to trim that back soon. So this is now sort of like reset, if you like. Nice clear water. The roots are gonna continue feeding from that substrate system. And it's just a waiting game now. This is the slowest part of the whole tank's progress. The first week or two is just the tank sort of like bedding in, if you like. But another week's progress, and I'm pretty sure that we can be adding in our first fish. I didn't really want to rush this process. I could have put them in straight away, but that's because I've been doing this a long time and I didn't want to sort of you know, suggest to newbies that they could, because there's stuff you need to look out for. And this is a video more about getting the tank's ecosystem going. There's no need to rush it. So the next video will be a week further into this whole thing, maybe 2. I'm going away on holiday. So yeah, Steph's here, but I'll be going away. And when we come back, it should be grown in loads, and then choosing and adding the first fish. I'm gonna go something fun, something that breeds, something I've not had before as well. So yeah, stay tuned to see you on the next one.